What's up guys, I'm Steve from Speed Kings, and this is my 2018 Road Glide. I get insomnia often. So one morning I'm sitting there, it's like 3 in the morning, and I'm like, you know what, fuck it, I think it's time to build a bagger. And so I called my friend John Oakes and I said, hey John, it's time to get a bagger, what can we do? So we made a deal. We ended up driving from California out to Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and went to J&L Harley-Davidson. My idea behind it was I didn't want to do what everybody else is doing in the road glide business, you know, the performance bagger thing. Right now there's a lot of carbon fiber going around, and I figured if I needed to shed some weight, it should be more around here than here. So I could go $10,000 of carbon fiber or less burritos. So I did the no carbon fiber and still no less burritos. You know, I just kind of want to do my spin on it, you know. I guess if we start at the front, so these are our Astro Nova M wheels, you know, we mated some 15-inch Arlen Ness rotors to it. I wanted a nice big stopping power for the motor, you know. We did 108mm Behringer radial calipers. The only carbon fiber we do have is this front fender. It's a Sly Fox carbon fiber front fender. Out of necessity, we needed a fender very quickly that would work with the mounting brackets of the alley art lower legs, and it worked out really well. That's our Speed King slimline fork brace on the front right there to keep everything nice and rigid. We're doing +2 over chrome tubes with GP suspension cartridges in there. We didn't do any kind of real, customization to the fairing, more, they just paint. They don't really think you need to. We're in the Baja design headlights. We did the full Sony XV7000 stereo, full Rockford Fosgate audio system with the amp and everything all tucked away in the fairing. Dakota digital gauges. We got Sly Fox upper and lower trees. Those are our Speed Kings Aniston risers. This is our prototype gauge housing that we've been running and testing. We're running Speed Kings mid-bend bars. We had Larry over at Lone Star Choppers. He actually did these tank cutouts for us to kind of give us a little bit more squeeze on our knees so we didn't have such a bulbous tank. This is a Clockworks dash right here, nice steel dash, and one of our Speed Kings gas caps. These bags right here are actually modified in-house. I don't really like the way things sweep on touring models. I actually take a section and I cut it out like a triangle and I form it all down, and then I plaster weld the whole end to create this more of a flatter backside on the bags. This fender came off of a 2018 FXLR lowrider. We actually had to narrow it to fit the subframe and to work with everything that they have in the crossmember system. We're running alloy art aluminum swing arm along with the alloy art subframe here, so pretty much the whole ass end besides the sheet metal is aluminum. Got some custom Olin shocks on the rear. Kevin at Big Bear, he actually took the canisters for me, stripped them down, and then polished, and then we clear anodized them so they wouldn't oxidize. Our first trip on this bike, we took off to Sturgis and we did 3,200 miles in 9 days, and I love it. I have a tour pack that actually mounts right here so I can just like sit back like a couch. The motor is a full S&S motor. It's a 131, so it's got a 4 5/8 stroked balanced crank, 70mm throttle body with 6.2 injectors, running the S&S 550 cam, and of course all their fancy internals on that. We got the Rebuffini floorboards, HPI shorty exhaust. You know, the 131 puts out a lot of power. Originally we had actually an open belt drive on this bike, but unfortunately it just the clutch couldn't hold up to what we're putting out. So we switched back over to a closed primary, and now we're running a whole Evolution Industries clutch pack with the Dark Horse crankwork compensator sprocket, so it really puts the power to the ground really well. Paint was done by ACPC in Riverside. I wanted to do something a little weird, something different, something that you don't really ever see before, you know, and I wanted to kind of go from a gradient of a dark charcoal gray coming into white, you know. I'm a real big fan of just kind of telling them my idea and walking away. You know, and my idea behind paint is collecting your art, not mine. So I just let him do his thing. I told him that, you know, I was really into some geometric shapes on it and stuff like that, and this is what I got back. You know, I mean, we've basically done everything on the bike except the main frame. I always say up and I envision the bikes, like I can never draw them down or anything. I have it in my head all the time. And so at the end, when this thing was done, I mean, I saw, what I saw was there now. It came to life like how I envisioned it, you know, and I've been fortunate the last few bikes that I've done to do the same thing, you know. Every bike you get, every new model, you know, like something you haven't touched before, there's still things to learn, you know. Before this, I'd never touched a bagger before. So a lot of it for me is the learning process, because again, I don't want to sell products for a bike I haven't touched. So when we started selling FXR products, I had to build an FXR, so I knew, you know, if somebody calls and asks you a question at the bike and you're like, I don't know, I just sell the product. product, man, you know, like that sucks. So we try to be as knowledgeable as possible. And for me, it's always just I guess the challenge and then learning. Speed King started as an idea in my garage when I had no money and I was trying to build a 69 Ironhead, and you know, 10 years ago or so, and it just kind of was one of those things that I was too dumb to quit. And here we are today, you know, like we provide aftermarket products for Dyna's FXR, Sportsters, baggers, softail models. You know, we're kind of focused on the performance side of things, you know, so big motors, big brakes, you know, handling properly, all that kind of stuff, suspension and things like that. You know, we have a website where you can just kind of buy all that stuff. You know, we have a shop out in Riverside, California. You can come there, talk to us, and you know, we'll do installs and things like that for you too. But I built the company because I couldn't find a cool job, and now I got a cool job, and other people have cool jobs, I think, that work for me.